All right, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI BAHASHAM Kodash. Praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father's true name, in the name of His only begotten Son, with whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and also in the name of His Holy Spirit. That's what I said in the ancient Hebrew tongue. So I'd like to give double honors double to the elders, the apostles of Greatmillstone, our teachers that surely do rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to the men, brethren around the four corners of this world that continues to spread this word, this gospel in all sincerity and in truth. This is your brother Kalab coming back to you with another bit of edification to the house of Israel, mainly the elect. As you can see, today's title, They That Waits Upon the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, needs no sea hip. Needs no sea hip. And those of you that are believers and constantly in tune with us here at Greatmillstone, beginning with our elders and apostles, should know what this lesson is touching on. It's touching on the MARK of the BEAST, Revelation 13:16 prophecy, that is being established on the earth, being set up on the earth, for that great sharing out of it, whereas the masses around the four corners of the earth are going to be presented with that ultimate test. As the scripture speaks of, the hour of temptation, Revelation 3 and verses 10, that time of trial or proving, as pertaining to those that are marked for destruction and those that are marked or sealed for everlasting life, for the kingdom. All right, because there's two sealings, there's two marks, all right, there's two signs, all right, that the Lord is going to give a great distinguishment between, right, which is those that are marked under Satan, under this beast, under this world, and those that are marked under his name and his son's name, sealed and written in their foreheads, belief in those names, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. All right, and for the past weeks, I believe, or past week or days, brothers would have been doing videos on the recent news article or update, concerning the CHIP that we received, whereas the FDA approved Elon Musk brain CHIP, right? As you see here, Neuralink, Elon Musk brain CHIP firm wins US approval for human study 2 days ago. As BBC News, all right, which is a big step towards that prophecy in Revelation 13:16 being fulfilled. And this is what we are about here at Greatmillstone. The prophecies of the Lord this year 2023, the year that hopefully all the prophecies of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI comes to pass. And what caught my attention, however, is this video here. This little video that they added to it. And when I watched it, the scripture came to mind, Isaiah the 40th chapter, hence the reason for the title, Isaiah 40. And the second to last verse, verses 30 and verses 31. All right, which I'll read. But first I want to play the clipping and then get further into the lesson, and hopefully this is edifying.
The most surprising thing, I think, happened after 2 days. Within 5 to 10 minutes, I could control my hips. The brain implant picked up what I was doing with my hips, so that was the best outcome, I think, for everyone. It was a long journey, but at the end, I can really build functional things from it. Training 10 years to stand up with a friend, having a beer. And that's something I think people don't realize.
And that was the clip. And basically, this guy from Swiss, right? That was paralyzed for years and having gotten the brain implant, he's now able to walk as as you see on the screen, but not freely as yet, not as though or how he used to previously walk. All right, but he's now able to make a couple steps, which to me is a whole pack of nonsense bullshit, because this is this devil's technology. This is Esau's technology, and not just technology for fun, but this technology comes with a certain mindset that Esau is pushing, and the mindset that they have towards this technology, this wisdom that they have, is that they are God. They think themselves to be God. They think themselves to be the most powerful race on the earth. All right. When 2,000 years ago there was a man, a true God by the name of YAHAWASHI, that came, and by his words people were being healed, paralyzed, lame. Yes, a woman even just touched the hem of his garment and she was healed. That is what you call power. That is what you call a God. All right. Now, what Esau is trying to present himself to be. All right. And the Lord is making them out. He's about to make them out even more or confirm that they are no gods. Right. So, as I promised, I'll read the book of Isaiah 40, and I want to start at verses 25. It says, Isaiah 40:25, it says, "To whom then will ye liken me, or shall I be equal?" Who you can liken the Most High to? The so-called white man could never be equal or likened to the Most High. There's only one particular race of people that the Most High call gods, and that's the Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which were the twin brother of Esau that were stronger. The one people shall be stronger than the other. So when it comes to being a god, a power on the earth, you're speaking about the Israelite people, not the Edomite people. These Edomites have been given a time to rule. The so-called white race has been given a time to rule, to enjoy their toys of technology, right? Their wealth on the earth. But that's as far as it goes. Because very soon the Lord is going to take them out. The Lord is going to bring destruction to them. And it's going to be basically pivoted in a rapid way via this device that they're about to bring, this C hip that they want to make mandatory. All right, when they do get it ushered out, the Lord is going to speed things up. Because there's a ceiling, as I mentioned initially, there's a ceiling for his elect, and then there's a ceiling for the wicked. Once the wicked is sealed with that device, they're marked with that device, the Lord is going to get his elect out of here. He's going to get his sealed ones out of here, because there's a judgment coming for receiving that device. All right, let's finish it off. It says, "To whom then will ye liken me, or shall I be equal, saith the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high, and behold, who had created these things? Yahawah." The so-called white man didn't create the sun, the moon, the stars, all right, the planets, the sky, the clouds. He didn't create these things. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI created those things. The creator, all right, created these things through his son and the elect angels, all right, known as today the sons of God or the Israelites. Get that through your thick skull. All right, the Israelites are that heavenly divine people. His son Yahushua, when he came, which is a God, because the Lord said, "Thy throne, O God," in Hebrews, the first chapter, he called him a God. And this God came And the nation that this God was born into was the Israelite nation of the tribe of Judah. He wasn't a Edomite. He wasn't a Moabite. He wasn't an Ammonite. He wasn't a Hittite, right? He was an Israelite. Yasha Allah, Prince of the power. He's that true prince. It says, lift up your eyes on high and behold who had created these things. All things were created by him and for him. All right. You read that in John, the first chapter, even the book of Colossians, the first chapter. Right. Lift up your eyes on high and behold who had created these things that bringeth out their hosts by number, the stars. Right. It says, he calleth them all by names by the greatness of his might. The Lord is mighty. He's that true power. These devils trying to be powerful. They're claiming to be powerful. All right, with a petty technology that has a guy walking like a cripple. Still, look at him. Still, yeah, he has a brain implant, but he still walks like. Can he run? Can this nigga run? Can this nigga dance? A whole brain implant to just make some few steps to your death. It says, that bringeth out their host by number. Back in Isaiah 40 and verse 26, he calleth them all by names by the greatness of his might. For that he is strong in power, not one faileth, not one faileth. And guess what? The things that the Lord declared, and none ain't going to fail, as the scripture says in Isaiah 34 verse 16. None of these shall fail, none shall want to meet. You see his words, there's power just even in his word, in his speech. When he speaks, it happens. And that's why before the FDA approved the CHIP, the prophecies did. The prophets did. All right, approved it to be what it is rightfully in prophecy. Revelation 13:16. The CHIP is the mark of the beast. That's what it is. All right. But now today being FDA approved. So there's so many signs given. There's so many indications as to what is going to be the MOTB or what is the MOTB. And some idiots still can't see it. I mean, it's something that makes you wonder, but when they come to the understanding of it, it's that's the doing of the Lord. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI simply blinded them. There are those that are going to see and that are going to hear, and they still ain't going to believe because it wasn't given to them. In Deuteronomy 29 and verse 2, starting there, it says, and Moses called unto all Israel and said unto them, ye have seen all that the Lord Yahweh did before your eyes. There are things that were done before their eyes. They're seeing it in their face. Like today, the vision is speaking before their very eyes, before their very ears. They're hearing it. It's being now approved by the FDA. What more should you want to know to acknowledge this? All right, it says that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt, which we are today in spiritual Egypt, place of bondage, unto Pharaoh, right? Which modern day Pharaoh is Esau Edom, as the ones that rules over us today, king of Egypt, right? The rulers of this earth given into the hand of the wicked, and unto all his servants and unto all his land, because the Lord in ancient Egypt, he brought plagues upon them. And so likewise, he's bringing plagues, and he's going to multiply those plagues upon Babylon, upon the Americas, upon this wicked world. All right, because the Lord's people, the elect, are crying out. All right, and the Lord, when his elect cries, he hears them. The Lord didn't give a rat's ass about those that don't believe, that are seeing things before their eyes and still not believing in things that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI has declared. What if some did not believe? Romans the 3rd chapter. Verse 3 says, the great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles. Yet the Lord Yahweh had not given you an heart to perceive. He had not given them a heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. You see, the Lord has to give you those eyes to see. He has to give you those ears to hear. And until then, you're going to be deaf. You're going to be spiritually deaf. You're going to be spiritually blind. You're going to be spiritually numb to what the prophecies are saying. And that is going to lead to your destruction. And one major prophecy, as we always go into Revelation, the 13th chapter, flavor of the week, flavor of the year, flavor until it happens. All right, because that is a major prophecy and it begins in Revelation 13. I want to start at 9 where it says, if any man have an ear, you had to have the ear to hear. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And that ain't just referring to the next verse, right? You had to have an ear to hear all this, all the prophecy going down to the 16th verse and all right, where it says, and he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. What is this mark? Can you perceive what this mark is? Do you know what this mark is? Are there any signs indicating on the earth today what this mark could possibly be? It said they would receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And now, the way these devils bring in this device today, it shows how much, they want it issued, how important it is to them. They're bringing it medically and they're bringing it financially. And that is one of the two things that, people gravitate to, hospitals, medical stuff, and finance. That is what affects the world today. Affects people greatly, and this devil are using those avenues to get the people to trust and believe and to ultimately receive that device. So you saw the guy there in the video, paralyzed and then now able to walk, right? A so-called miracle by them through their technology. But the Lord spoke of all this. The Lord spoke about those attempts that they're going to make to deceive the people. Revelation 13 and verse 14. It says, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. We have a brain C-hip that is now FDA approved that can cause the paralyzed to walk again. Then their miracles, there is a great deception. And their miracle is lesser, as I mentioned earlier, is lesser than what YAHAWASHI performed 2,000 years ago. It's lame. Yes, at some point he couldn't even make a step, but come on, those type of steps. Look at this idiot. This, I'm gonna do a whole brain implant to
I can
just
really build
be able to do this.
functional things from it. Training 10 years to stand up with a friend for everyone. It was a long journey, but at the end, I can really build
And here,
functional things from it.
and hear what he said. Hear what he said at the beginning.
The most surprising thing, I think happened after 2 days.
The most surprising thing. He was surprised. He marveled. A miracle. All right, a lame ass miracle. Shalom, shalom to the Akim viewing. Shalom to the Akia on the coming board as well. Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, Makakadash, Barakatham. Right, but I put some precepts here, so let's not some. Matthew 16 and verses 2, it says, he answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. Verse 3, and in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? You see that? Can you not discern the signs of the times? The prophecies, the things that are being played out before your very eyes that YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI declared to happen in the end. All right, as the scripture says in what? 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. We just pull that 2nd Ezra chapter 6. The Lord told us how it's going to go down. He didn't leave us in the dark. Apostle Paul said in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, that day should not overtake you as a thief in the night. The Lord told us what's going to happen. the things that are going to befall this wicked world, the agendas of the wicked, and ultimately how he's going to disappoint them. He told us it all. He gave us the scriptures. This is the book of Second Ezra, the chapter 9. Second Ezra chapter 9, and straight to the point at verses 5. It says, "For like as all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." The end is manifest. We're living in the end times. How do we know that? How is our professing of our proclamation of the end, this is being the end, is greater than our grandparents or great grandparents' own? Because the things that we are prophesying of are happening. The things that the end times declared will happen in the end times are happening. Even so, verse 6, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. Ending in effects and signs. All right, so there are things to look out for that would indicate to us that this is the end. And all those implants, hip implants, all right, for finance or for health, for wellness, those are signs. That ain't just happening. John the Revelator saw it. All right, it was proclaimed, it was declared by the mouth of the prophet, and the prophet is the mouth of God. And what the Lord speaks does not return unto him void. It's going to happen. All right, and the Lord today has these signs out, as going back to Deuteronomy 29. Right, verses 3 to 4, it says, "The great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles, yet the Lord had not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day." That's what's happening to the masses of our people. That in these other false groups claiming the MOTB to be what it's not, even in Christianity, like these Seventh-day Adventists talking about the MOTB, Revelation 13:16 prophecies, the Sunday law, the blue law. It's not. All right, you go into the word MARK in Revelation 13:16, and it goes back to the root word karax of charagma, right? And it deals with an imprinted mark, a piercing, a branding. It's something physical. All right, being that this devil is carnal, he's going to bring a carnal mark. The Lord is spiritual. He has marked his people spiritually. That tower, that mark of exemption, the elect of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, which are those that wait upon him, will need no sea hip. Going back to Isaiah chapter 40 and verses 28, it says, go back to verse 27, sorry. It says, "Why sayest thou, Jacob, Yaquab, supplanter, receive the birthright, then the blessing," and that's what we're about to step into. The blessings that were given to Jacob, our forefather, right? It says, "Why sayest thou, Jacob, and speakest, O Israel," which his name was changed to, which is Yasha Allah. He's a prince of power. We are princes of the Most High, sons of God. We don't need no carnalized device. All right, despite a lot of brothers and sisters might be disabled, right, diseased. We don't need the so-called white man's technology. All right, what we need is our power to return. What we need is salvation. That is what we need. It says, verse 27, it says, "My way is hid from the Lord, and my judgment is passed over from my power." You don't think that the Lord ain't looking. The Lord is looking. He's seeing our circumstance. He's seeing what these devils are planning, and their judgment is going to come. The Lord is going to reward them. He's going to repay them for what they have done and what they have intended to do. Keep us captive forever. That's what they intended to do. That device is also known as a badge of servitude. And this is what they want to put within you. to keep you a slave, to keep you underneath them. But the Lord is going to turn the tables where they are going to be underneath you. And that's going to begin with those that has that victory over his mark. Revelation, the 15th chapter. All right, that didn't receive it. Verse 28 says, Hast thou not known, hast thou not heard that the everlasting power, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. There is no searching of his understanding. He giveth power to the faint. See that? He giveth power to the faint. That is, he want to heal you. That is, he want to strengthen you. It says, And to them that have no might, he increaseth strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, shall renew their strength. Those that wait on the Lord will be renewed. Don't need no see hip to walk again, to talk again, to move again. What we need is the Lord to return. It says, But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Going to be doing things that the sea hip can't allow you to do. Fly. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. Look at that nigga could barely walk after a whole brain implant. This is what you want to take that device to be able to do? This? Come on. They that wait upon the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. We're going to be increased. All right, the Lord is going to give us power. And not just power, to retain within ourselves or to just have it for having its sake. Is power to rule. The power that we're going to have is a power above what these nations are going to have, which is going to make us lords unto them, which is going to make them afraid of us, as it says in the blessing. Going back to Deuteronomy, this time chapter 28 and verses 10. This is a blessing. It says, And all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, and they shall be afraid of thee. How are they going to see that we are called by the name? Because those that are called by his name are the ones that are going to wait upon him, and they're going to be renewed, going to be strengthened, going to be given power. And they, the heathens, the people of the earth, all people of the earth, shall be afraid of thee. They're going to be terrified. We're going to have an upgrade. They ain't going to be able to walk like we do, talk like we do, look like we do. All right, and they ain't even able to do so now. They might accomplish the look due to interracial sex. All right, the features, but the spirit. The Lord is going to upgrade our spirit. They don't have our spirit. All right, we have a special, as the scripture calls us, a unique, a peculiar people. This people have I perfected. Let me see if I can get that. Perfected for his praise. God is going to perfect us. So, right. This is the book of Isaiah 43. Not the exact one I wanted, but same notion. Isaiah chapter 43 and verses 21, it says, This people have I formed for myself. They shall shew forth my praise. We're going to show forth the Lord's praise. All right? The Lord is going to be glorified in us. And that's what it says in Isaiah the 49th chapter. And verses 3. It says, and said unto me, thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. The Lord is going to glorify his people. These heathens, however, Esau, Edom, and his technology is going to be what? Defamed. It's going to be brought low, brought to nothing. That's what the Lord is going to do with their devices. Disappoint it. Prove it to be no God. Prove it to be inferior. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 28 and verses 2. It says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and no God, though thou set thy heart as the heart of God. They set their mind as the heart of God. They think to themselves that they are God. They have a God complex. This Prince of Tyrus, it represents Esau, Edom today. All right? It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten the riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. So with their so-called knowledge, their technology, right? They have gotten great riches, great wealth. They've made a fortune off of technology. All the devices they've created, all right, the things that they've produced to the public for convenience, they've made a lot of money off of it, right? Their cars, their smartphones, their TVs, tablets, right? iPods, all these things, the machineries, they've made great wealth off of it. It said, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches. And by thy traffic, who they traffic? They trafficked us. Slavery, slave trades, right? That's where the riches of them began, on this side with us, where they sold us into captivity. It says, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, Russia, China, the BRICS, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, their swords representing them nukes. Them nukes going to fly to that land, America, and they shall defile thy brightness. They're going to defile thy brightness. They're going to make that land desolate, make that land darkened with nukes. All right? So don't let your wisdom deceive you. Don't let your technology fool you. That technology that you have is going to fail. And those of you that receive that technology, you're going to fail along with him. They shall all fall together, as the scripture says. You get that? The whole failure system this devil has set up. Isaiah chapter 31 and verses 3. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not God. See that beautifully flowing from the Ezekiel 28, where they think to themselves that they are God. They have the mind of God. All right? They set their mind as though they had the mind of God. But the Lord is saying in Isaiah the 31st chapter, through prophet Isaiah, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord YAHAWAH shall stretch out his hand, which is his son, he's going to send his son. When he stretch out his hand, his right hand, YAHAWASHI, but he that helpeth shall fall. They're going to what? They're going to fall. And he that is holpen, which is going down to Egypt for help, all these nations, mainly our people as well, going to Egypt for help, and they all shall fail. They all shall what? Fail. It's a failure. Fail together. All right? Those that receive that device and those that will issue in it, all of them are going to fail. Thus saith YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. All right? So this is the times that we in right now. We in the end times. Going back to the second Ezra 6 and verse 6, it says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. Verses 7, it says, and everyone that shall be saved, whose salvation for? That should be a hot topic. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. You have to believe in what the prophecy says, what the word says, what YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI says. And ye have, whereby ye have believed. So by your works, what you do with that belief that the Lord has given you. I believe Psalms 116 and verse 10, I believe, therefore have I spoken. Just truth, once you believe in it, you've been ordained to speak. Bring it out. All right? Mainly pertaining to the men, right? Women ordained to keep silence. Learn with all reverence to your husbands in all subjection. All right? But you men out there, once from receiving this truth, you are ordained to speak it, to teach it, to learn it. All right? It says, and shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation. And shall see my salvation. I guess it wanted to be blown up. And shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, within the Lord's border. See, the Lord has a border, a boundary. I'm dealing with the children of Israel and them only. For I have sanctified them, the Israelites, for me from the beginning. From the beginning. Like it says in what is that? Sirach 36 chapter. Let's see who he possessed from the beginning. Sirach chapter 36 and verses 11. It says, gather all the tribes of Jacob together. The tribes of Israel today are being gathered and gathered by his words. All right? Gathered by this truth. Gather all the tribes of Jacob together and inherit thou them as from the beginning. As from the beginning. All right? So is the people, is a nation of people that the Lord has from the beginning ordained to salvation, that are not going to receive that device, that are going to trust and believe in their powers despite what circumstance or situation they're in, and despite what is presented to them to so-called bring them out of that position or circumstance. They're going to remain faithful to their power. You see, the rest of the world going to be fooled. You know, the rest of the world are going to be deceived into taking that device. So you mean that when I take this chip, I can walk again? I can talk again? I can get paid? And they're gonna bring it in all different forms, means, aspects. Whereas celebrity, celebrity personals are in play, where they're gonna take it, they're gonna be the role models. Like all people see them today to be role models, right? People to look up to, right? Celebs. They're gonna look to them and they're gonna show them that receiving that device is the way. And they're gonna do it. They're gonna be seduced. It's a whole seduction being built up, being established, like they did. We had a prelude to it. They did it with the jab, the juice, the serpent juice. They used celebrities to take it, do videos saying that they took it, and the masses went and they also took it, following their role models. These role models are going to lead you to your death. What does it say in Isaiah Isaiah the 9th chapter, yeah, chapter 9 and verses 16. It says, "For the leaders of this people cause them to err." These people only way to err, to do wrong, to sin. All right. It says, "And they that are led of them are destroyed," because once they lead you into receiving that device, you are going to be destroyed. No ifs, no buts, no maybes about it. The Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI will destroy you if you receive that device. It has no repentance for taking it. You can't go and ask for forgiveness. Lord, please forgive me. Once receiving that device, you will be destroyed. Revelation 14 and verses 9. It says, "And the third angel followed. The third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand." So this time it doesn't say right hand, doesn't give any specification. So it doesn't have to be a right, it doesn't have to be a left, it doesn't even have to be a hand. In his mark in his forehead or in his hand, and to have it in your body. Just two main parts of the body being expressed here by the revelator John. All right, because this is where they're going to receive it in its predominance. But no matter what part of your body that device is placed, once you have it, you are going to be destroyed. Listen what it says in the next verse. The same, verse 10, "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God," as an epithet or term for the nukes, "the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation," righteous anger, "and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone," in a new capsule called ICBM missile SLBMs, bombers. It says, "And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels," because the Lord is coming back with his angels. At that third world's war, that nuclear destruction, the angels are going to be here, and in the presence of the Lamb, YAHAWASHI is going to be here. YAHAWASHI is going to come back, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So they're going to have ultimate distress in receiving that device until they're totally wasted. You're not coming out of it. From the time you begin to burn, you're going to burn out. All right. And that smoke is going to go up, and it's going to be a memorial. That smoke, when it goes up, it's going to be an everlasting memorial. It's going to be always remembered that that smoke, that great smoke, went up in Babylon. And there's going to be left a mark on the earth where that land is going to be remained as a desert land. No civilization there, no rebuilding in that land. So when it talks about the smoke going up forever and ever, it's not talking about smoke just being in the sky for till eternity, right? But it's talking about the memorial of it. Okay? So don't receive that device. Wait upon the Lord. And this is what we encourage in the elect to do. Wait on YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. That's where the renewal is going to come from. If your feet are broken, you're paralyzed, you don't need to walk right now. You don't need to walk right now. All right? That's the position that the Lord has you in. Think about it this way: for the building up to a miracle, where time is going to come that even brothers are going to be given the power to work miracles, to heal the sick, to make the lame walk again. As what the scripture tells us here in the book of Corinthians. Let me get that. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verses 28. It says, and power had sent some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, and after that, miracles. There's going to be miracles done not by the beast like we read in Revelation 13, not them pseudo miracles, right? But the miracles of the prophets, just like YAHAWASHI performed, right, in time past 2,000 years ago, where he healed them in the multitudes, he multiplied bread, fish, right? It says then gifts of healings, gift of healings helps governments diversities of tongues. So that's all a part of the list. Miracles and healings. You don't need no see hip. All right, you don't need Esau's high technology to be whole. The Lord is going to bring that time where those that are lame will be able to walk. Some, as I mentioned, the apostles may come, lay hands on them, they get healed. But these are the things that we're going to see. These are the things that the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is going to perform. And I guarantee you, when it is performed, you ain't going to be walking like him. You ain't going to be walking like this guy. You're going to be whole. He said, I could control my hips. The Lord is going to make us whole again. He said, I will heal you. You get that in the book of Jeremiah 30 as I close. Jeremiah the 30th chapter. Wait a second. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verses 17. It says, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, said the Lord. The Lord said he's going to do it. You don't need that device. It says, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because they call thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. They call us outcasts. They call us God forsaken. That's why they're trying to now take that extra step. Let's see how far we could go. Let's see if we could get them to be under our total control. Let's see if we could chip them, all of them. That's his agenda, to see if he could get all. But the Lord has elect, as the scripture says, that will not bow the knees unto Baal, and ultimately not to his image in these times, his NWO, and not going to receive his mark. All right, and that's the spirit that the Lord has on us today, and Lord willing, it remains on us even when we are faced with, when it's at your door, that we hold our integrity and keep the faith and deny that mark, even if it's death, all right, that they present. Because as the scripture prophesies as well, there would be those that are beheaded, that have not received that mark. In Revelation, I believe it's chapter 3. Let's see if I could get that. I know that I said that was the last precept, but I must read this here. Revelation 3. And verses 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, you have to keep these words that are written. You have to believe in the prophecies. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Remember the crown. There's a crown to be obtained. There's a prize for those that hold their integrity in the Lord, beginning with the men. That great crowning ceremony that Ezra saw, second Ezra, the second chapter, where They receive crowns at the hand of the Lord. The Lord himself places that crown on their head. And that's what you will receive ultimately if you deny that mark, you resist that mark. You fortify thyself mightily in the fear of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, leading up to that day when it's presented. Revelation 2 and verses 10, it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. A lot of us, they're going to suffer us. They're going to pour us through a lot of pain, intending for us to break, to take that device. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. You had to cast off that spirit of fear. That's something you had to pray about. This flesh is a thing that might get frightened, be afraid. All right, but the Lord has not given us the spirit of fear. And you see, what's in your spirit is what matters. Yeah, the flesh might want to be afraid and might tremble, but it is what is in your spirit that matters. Get fear of men and fear of carnal things out of your spirit. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried in concentration camps, or them quarantine camps. Right? Prison, locked up. It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. You're gonna be tried. It could be 10 days, 20 days, 30 days. It's just a figure. All right? A rough figure. It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death. You have to be faithful. Even unto what? To death. You see the guillotine in front of you. You see the torture mechanism in front of you. And you're still holding your feet. That's what we have to go towards that day with. That power, that type of power, that might in our mind to hold the faith. And I will give thee a crown. You see that crown goes again. And I will give thee a crown of life. A reward in the end, as he said, he will reward his servants. All right. They that wait upon the Lord, he shall renew their strength. So with that, I give all praises and glory to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM RACHA Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Greatmillstone, our teachers that rule well. Peace, love, salutation to the men, the brethren on the four corners of this world that spreads this word, this gospel in all sincerity and in truth. Brother Kalab, saying keep feeding your faith, stop it also, then stay strong. Shalom.